you trying to force yourself to go to sleep because you've got a huge night ahead of you? This could be anything from a party to your first night shift. This nap can be very effective in making you feel more alert, productive, and tolerant. However, for most, the nap doesn't just happen. So throughout this video, I'm going to show you some of my key pointers to make sure you fall asleep quickly and wake up feeling alert and ready to take on the night. My first and most important tip is you must get yourself in the mood for sleep. I don't know many people who can simply switch off the light, pop their head on the pillow, and voila, they've fallen asleep. So therefore, we need to do more to get us in the mood for sleep. Now, this is going to look different for everyone. However, it could involve closing the blinds, dimming down all the lights, playing some sort of sleep relaxing music, or listening to an app like Calm or Headspace. You could also turn on some aromatherapy, spray some lavender oil on your pillow, get out of any restrictive clothes that you're wearing, and avoid anything that's going to make you mad, angry, or sad before you go to sleep. You could try drinking some warm milk and bring back some nice childhood memories that puts you straight to sleep. Or you could also try some chamomile tea. Personally, I like to exercise about 3 hours before I intend on napping because my body's exhausted and it would love a nap at that time. Now, I know I've given you a lot of options here, but please don't feel overwhelmed. Take your time and work out which of the methods I've provided best help put you in the mood so you can have a really good nap. Don't just rely on determination and willpower because you may be disappointed. Now, for this next tip, I want you to block out the blue light. Now, if you're new to these glasses, I know they might look a little bit ridiculous, but it's likely when you're just about to wind down for a nap, you're probably scrolling on your phone or watching the TV, right? Which those things are fine to do, but the problem is the light that's coming from these devices stops your sleep hormone melatonin from actually doing its job. So the solution's easy. You just wear a pair of glasses like this and block out the blue light. If you are appreciating these tips so far, give us a like and subscribe to the channel. We've got so much more to share. Thanks very much. The next tip is to embrace sleep aids. Now, having to use some sort of equipment to help you sleep doesn't mean you've failed. I personally think you're actually the clever one for using something rather than just beating your head up against a wall. If it's too bright, then consider blackout blinds, an eye mask, or even going to have a nap in the basement if you have one where it may be a bit darker. If it's too noisy, use earplugs or a white noise machine, or use music, or get a pedestal fan and direct it towards the wall and just use the noise of the fan to distract you from the other sounds that you can't control. Now, not every sleep aid will work for you, so you might have to try a couple until you experience the best nap of your life. The next tip is to adjust the temperature in your bedroom. If it's too hot or too cold, it's likely you're going to have a pretty hard time falling asleep, particularly when you're not really that tired. The best temperature for your bedroom is around 65 degrees Fahrenheit or 18.3 degrees Celsius. If you're too cold, consider wearing socks to bed and using a heat pack. If you're too hot, use a fan, portable air conditioner, wear lighter pajamas, and even consider using one of those small towels, a face washer, flannel, put it under cold water and just lay it over your eyes and forehead. That might be quite relaxing and can also cool you down. The next tip is to not take melatonin. Now, melatonin can be very effective, particularly for those who work night shift or if you've been on a long haul flight, which I don't know who's been doing that lately. But in regards to a nap, I don't think melatonin's very effective because it doesn't have enough time to work. So you're going to wake up feeling terrible and it's just not worth it. If you are struggling to sleep though, there's 2 tips I've got. The first one is to keep a notepad by your bed and to write down any thoughts that are keeping you awake. Once it's on the notepad, you can then forget all about it because you are going to address these things when you wake up. The second thing is a breathing technique such as the 4-7-8 method can also be very helpful to reduce your anxiety and any stress you're feeling. In this technique, breathe in for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 7 seconds, then breathe out slowly for 8 seconds. After the third cycle, I can't remember anything else, so I hope you have as much success as I have. Now, this next suggestion won't help you fall asleep if you're not tired, but it is critical to remember if you are going to nap at all, and that is the nap duration. If you sleep for around 10 to 30 minutes, you will stay within the first 2 stages of sleep, which means when you wake up, you won't wake up feeling groggy and like you've been hit by a bus, which is called sleep inertia. A longer nap of around an hour and a half will travel through all the stages of sleep, which means when you wake up, you'll probably feel pretty good. However, if your nap lasts between 40 and 60 minutes, for example, you may wake up feeling disorientated and confused, and it takes a long time to get out of this head fog because you're waking up in these deeper stages of sleep. So my takeaway message here is to commit to either a short sleep between 10 and 30 minutes, or if you've got some time up your sleeve or you're preparing for your first night shift, we recommend sleeping for a little bit longer and commit to that 90 minutes. As much as you probably hate your alarm clock, set it so you don't get caught within the later stages of sleep. The next tip is to try a coffee nap. Now, I know the idea of this sounds a little wild and counterintuitive. However, a coffee nap may increase the effect caffeine has upon waking. It's suggested to make this nap a success, we need to drink around 200 milligrams, which is about 2 standard cups of coffee, around 10 to 15 minutes before you plan on going to sleep. As I'm not exactly a coffee drinker, I haven't tried this myself, but I know a couple of shift workers who swear by this method. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about caffeine and how much is too much and when we should be drinking it, particularly when working nights, you're going to love this video that we recently produced. Thanks for checking out this video. Happy napping, and we'll see you at the next shift.